Hi everyone, and welcome back to InsideTech, where today we'll be checking out the Origem HS-3, claiming to be the world's first HDR earphones. These actually started out as a crowdfunding project on IndieGoGo, but after absolutely smashing their targets within the first 24 hours, I've no doubt that these will be widely available very soon. The earphones are packing a lot of flagship features, such as fast charging, Bluetooth 5 and water resistance, and after testing these for a couple of weeks, I have to say that I'm very impressed. Let's check them out. So the earphones arrived in this compact hardshell carry case, which is surprisingly good quality and is also branded to give that more personalised premium feel. Inside you have the earphones themselves, some extra silicone ear tips, and a micro USB charging cable. The earphones are made from a combination of plastic and metal, and have an in-ear design with adjustable metal hooks to keep them securely in place, making these ideal for workouts. And with an IPX5 water resistance rating, you don't need to worry about sweat or rain damaging the earphones. I have here the black or gunmetal finish, but you can also get these in silver or red. Using metal for the ear hooks does add to the premium design, and also the durability, but what surprised me the most was how lightweight and comfortable these were in my ears. The shape of the earphones meant that the ear tip sat deep into my ear canal, which is great for deeper bass and passive noise isolation, and these probably would have stayed in my ears even without the ear hooks, but this will be down to your ear shape and which sized ear tips are right for you. The earphones are connected by a thin wire, so these aren't true wireless earphones, but you can hang these around your neck when you're not using them, and you don't need to worry about accidentally losing these whilst out jogging. There's an inline remote for adjusting volume, skipping tracks, controlling phone calls, and summoning your phone's voice assistant. The buttons are easy to distinguish and are very clicky, which I personally really like. At the side we have the micro USB port behind a rubber seal to maintain water resistance, which isn't ideal because it can be a little fiddly, but it does the trick. And as you'd probably expect, I do wish that this was USB-C instead. We also have here a microphone which allows you to perform controls with just your voice using the intuitive voice control, the first of its kind in wireless earphones. This is actually one of my favourite features of these earphones, because you don't need to use a wake word every time you want to use voice controls, which would absolutely deter me from using voice controls ordinarily. You simply give the command out loud and it works straight away, even to pause and play when watching videos. The response time is very fast, and the microphone was very sensitive to my voice so I could easily speak in a quiet or relaxed manner and it picked up my commands every time, and it also provided a very clear voice during phone calls. Since the intuitive voice control is always on, the HS-3s are always ready for your commands, but this did make me question how often I'd activate this accidentally, since there's no way to turn the feature off. Thankfully, only the specific command will trigger the action. For example, saying next song will work, whilst skip song doesn't. So accidental activation is unlikely. I still don't know how comfortable I'd be walking down a public street and talking out loud to my earphones, but this is still a great example of voice control done right. The HS-3 support SBC, AAC, and the aptX codecs, and use the latest Bluetooth 5 for connectivity, which gave me a line of sight distance well over the advised 33 feet, with no issues relating to dropouts whatsoever. I also noticed that the latency was very low, likely thanks to that Bluetooth 5, so using these earphones for watching videos was no problem at all. You're also able to pair simultaneously to a second device. In fact, the earphones will automatically seek out and pair to the last two connected devices when you turn them on, which is really convenient, and it was great to see that the voice control also worked when connected to my computer. In terms of battery life, these gave me around 6 hours listening at just below 50% volume. I would normally test earphones at 50%, but these can be very loud, so for those who like to listen to their music at high volumes, you definitely won't be disappointed here. You can also keep track of the battery level in the widget screen, but this is only displayed in 20% increments. As for charging, typically a fast charging device will offer you some battery after say 5 or 10 minutes of charging. Instead here you get the full 6 hours after 30 minutes of charging. Whilst this is fairly quick, the fast charging is by no means class leading, and 6 hours battery life is relatively low by wireless earphone standards, but this should be more than enough for average daily use. Now the feature I was most interested in was audio quality, and specifically the HS-3's signature HDR algorithm. You've more than likely come across HDR before with your phone or TV, and again this stands for High Dynamic Range, which in this case promises to analyse your environment and optimise the sound across all frequencies, regardless of the listening volume. For this purpose, the HDR effect is really useful. The sound is consistent and really well balanced. For a pair of wireless earphones, the sound is really good, and I'd say that the sound presentation overall is fairly neutral and flat. The HS-3s do have a particularly good bass response, but without overpowering the mids or highs, which is a common weakness of wireless earphones. Origem also claim that these will produce crystal clear mids and detailed highs, and this is where I wouldn't necessarily agree. I think the detail in particular is lacking slightly, and vocals don't especially stand out, although realistically these are features you'd more likely find in high-end headphones as opposed to earphones. So the HDR algorithm does work, in that your audio is really well balanced, but whilst the world's first HDR earphones does sound really impressive, don't expect this to blow you away. So are these earphones worth buying? Definitely yes. The sound quality is really good, particularly the low end. They have good water resistance, Bluetooth 5, and I found them to be really comfortable. The intuitive voice control is unique and works really well, and the multi-device pairing adds that extra convenience too. The great thing about startup campaigns is that if you want to get a pair of these now, you can take advantage of the early bird offer for a significantly reduced price point. I think Origem intend to sell these at $99, for which I still think you'd be getting good value for money. So if you are interested in these earphones, then do check out the link in the video description to get hold of these whilst they're still on offer. If you found this video helpful, then please give it a like because it really helps out smaller channels like mine. Please also comment any thoughts or questions down below, and don't forget to subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss anything else. Thanks for watching, see you all next time.